welcome to the first Mr. Fakefoot commentary video. What I wanted to kind of talk about today was the Lifesteal public server. And at the moment, it kind of sucks. Like, I don't want to be mean or anything, because I understand from experience that running a server is like extremely difficult, because you have to simultaneously please everybody while also making the game fun to play. And I understand that it is horrible to do. It's not like all hope is lost for the Lifesteal public server, right? So I think before I get into how we can start actually fixing the public Lifesteal server, I should probably start talking about how what the problems are with it, if that makes sense. Unironically, it isn't a bad idea by itself, okay? The issue that resides with Lifesteal Public is I could go onto, like, any server that is made by a YouTuber and get practically the same experience, right? So, a while back, just for an example, a while back, I made a video on a server called the Bartle SMP. I did this with my friend Dash7, and it did pretty well. This was back when my videos were horrible, so don't watch it. I mean, my videos are still pretty bad, but they're better than they used to be. But anyways, I made this video, and it had exactly what Lifesteal Public has. Like, you could steal people's hearts. It just had the Lifesteal mechanic. It had auctions. It had freaking, just kind of all the things that you would expect. It had all the things you would expect for a Minecraft public survival SMP to have with the Lifesteal plugin. And the problem that public Lifesteal has is it's pretty much the same thing, and it's just harder to play. The Lifesteal people and the developers have gone on record to say, hey, this is not going to be like this. Once full release, there won't be a player cap. But right now, there's a player cap of 250, which is fine. We can live like that. See ya. And I missed. And I'm dead. So anyway, yeah, one of the two big problems of Lifesteal Public is it's just like any server that you can play. It's just the same thing. It doesn't innovate much. That's the big problem with it, right? Is that it's the same server that you can get pretty much everywhere. Doesn't matter what you do. You're pretty much going to get that experience if you look up a Lifesteal public server. That's the experience you're going to get. The only big difference here is that it's made by the actual Lifesteal people, right? And so obviously, that comes with a few things. But this obviously isn't to say that it doesn't innovate at all. They actually have one really, really good innovation, right? And that's the heart fragment shop thing. I think that is an awesome, thing that they did. I think that is a really cool way of doing this, right? So you can't just get 50 billion hearts right off the bat and just become the god of a server in, a night. I really do think that is a good feature that they added. And, so it's not saying that Lifesteal Public hasn't innovated at all, because, definitely they have. And I'm gonna die right off the bat. Of course I get put next to the sweaty. Yep, okay. So, yeah, that's one thing that I really do like about Lifesteal Public, is it does that, and it does it well. It also has an outpost feature, which is kind of interesting, and I'll touch on a little bit more here in just a second. But the second big issue of the Lifesteal Public server that I want to talk about is also something that you're just going to get in pretty much any server. So this problem isn't exclusive to Lifesteal. Honestly, not even the first problem is exclusive to Lifesteal, because, yeah, that's just kind of what's going to happen, because how do you innovate that much on a survival server? It's hard to. I know from experience, making a completely new way to play the vanilla game is really difficult. So, I definitely understand where they're coming from, because I do think what they're doing is really cool. But, anyway, the second big issue that I wanted to touch on, right, is super sweaty players getting in the way of more casual players and new players specifically. That's specifically, did I say that right? I don't know. But the sweaty players getting in the way of the casual and new players from actually having an enjoyable time. That's the second big issue. And again, this happens in like every survival server, so it's not Lifesteal exclusive. I'm just kind of surprised how quickly it happened on the Lifesteal server, and I'll get into an example here in a minute. But the problem that a lot of people face, especially with servers like this, is that there will be a group of players that get insanely maxed out, and then basically they will camp the spawn, and they will just kill anyone who tries to leave at all, right? So this kind of goes back to the Lifesteal's Outpost feature, which I think is actually a good addition. Like, I'm pretty sure, maybe it was Redoons or something who said on the suggestions forum in their Discord that the reason the outposts are there is because RTP spreads players out too much and it limits player interaction. I'm pretty sure I saw someone say that. Might not have been Redoons, but I'm pretty sure I saw that, right? And I actually completely agree. I think a big part of multiplayer servers is that you need to have player interaction, right? If you don't have player interaction, then you're just kind of screwed, and I'm dead. Everyone's going to hide, and it's not going to be fun, and your server's going to die really quickly, right? So the big issue that Lifesteal Public has is with people camping the outposts. Okay, I guess one of the big issues. There's a few. But this one specifically, players will camp the outposts, and then it becomes practically impossible for new players to get their footing, right? So, me and my friend, DarkZ, we logged on Lifesteal Public for like 2 hours, okay? And what we did was we spent the entirety of those 2 hours getting away from the outposts. Luckily, there weren't too many people on at the time, so that wasn't a big issue. But we spent that time getting away from the outposts, and then just grinding until we had full diamond gear, full diamond tools with level 1 enchants. Okay, pretty basic stuff. Then what we decided to do is we decided to become the outpost campers and get some hearts. Okay, now I'm probably going to get called a hypocrite for that, but whatever. The point is, I was playing the system. The system's meant to be played. We went to the outpost. We decided to try and get a few kills, okay? And what ended up happening is we got jumped by 2 players with completely maxed diamond armor and totems. Now, keep in mind, this is the first day of the server. The first day. Okay, and we just get killed instantly, right? So that's kind of the big issue, is we spent time, we did all this grinding, we worked up to it, we were feeling confident, and then we got knocked down instantly, and we logged off, because it wasn't fun, right? Like, where's the fun in doing all that work? Where's the fun in doing all that work, and then instantly getting completely screwed over for it, you know? And so I made this suggestion in the actual suggestion tab in the Discord, but my idea for fixing it, right, is what you can do is have sort of a tier system for the PvP, okay? And have it based, it could either be based on like a level or how many hearts you have. I think the level idea is better, but it really kind of just depends on the Lifesteal people. Heart would make more sense because, you know, it's Lifesteal, but it really doesn't matter as long as like something happens. But basically, right, my idea is, say you get like 4 or 5 kills, right? Then you can move up to the next tier, okay? And then once you move up to the next tier, you can only fight people in that tier, okay? So basically, it kind of works as like a skill progression thing, as well as an armor progression thing. But it kind of works as like a skill and gear progression system. So you're not getting yeeted out of existence by a 100+ hour hyper-maxed player, right? So, like, what you can do is you can have these tiers. Maybe say, like, 5 kills will get you put in Tier 2. You can only attack people in Tier 2. And only people in Tier 2 can attack you. So, same thing applies to Tier 1, right? When you're in Tier 1, you can only attack people in Tier 1. and people in tier 1 can only attack you, and like so on and so forth. The more kills you get, the higher tier you're in, and the tougher opponents you'll face, right? So what you can do here is you can have one exception, and I think this exception makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. But the one exception to this rule is, say you're raiding someone's base, okay? If you are raiding someone's base, then that's it. All tiers are out the door. You can fight people above your tier, and people above your tier can fight you if you're trying to raid their base. I think that's fair. I think that's a way to do it. I also think that something that could be done is you could have a arena near one of the outposts, maybe near all the outposts, maybe in the outposts you can have an arena, and that will also throw the tier system out the window, so weaker people can fight stronger people and vice versa, right? I think this is a really good way to keep players invested in the server, because if you go and just lose a bunch of stuff right off the gate, you're not gonna have a very good time playing the server. So to recap, right, have a tier system. Make it to where only tier 1 players can fight tier 1 players, only tier 2 players can fight tier 2 players, and so on and so forth. And as you get more kills, you'll get into higher tiers, right? I think this incentivizes players to fight, and it keeps the game fair, okay? Because people with super maxed out stuff, spawn camping is gonna drive your player base into the ground. Because all you're gonna have is like 30 to 50 players who actually want to play because they actually have stuff, you know? Then, of course, the exception to this is if you're raiding someone else's base, everything's out the window. They can kill you because, like, if they couldn't kill you, then you could just waltz in there and steal all their stuff, which would be an even bigger problem than the one there is now, right? So that's obviously a big one. And then also arenas, because I know the idea of this server is to kind of imitate Lifesteal, and Lifesteal has all these big climatic battles in it. And these climactic battles, okay, he rubber banded. I would have got him. Trying to imitate Lifesteal, you can't really have those climactic battles because you can't fight each other. The arenas, which also bypass the tier system, just so you can imitate those cool climactic fights that the Lifesteal videos have in them. I think that's a good thing to do. The server doesn't really innovate much, which really sucks because if it, I don't know, it's hard to put into words. I think if they want to keep the server alive, they've got to innovate more, man. Like, I don't even know how they would go about doing it, which is the sucky part. I just know that they really aren't going to get very far unless they do something to make them not like the other servers. It's very similar to making videos. All of them are YouTubers, so I'm sure they have some basic understanding of this. People choose to watch their videos because they're not like the other videos. So the same thing is going to apply. Wow, I'm so good at this game. The same thing is going to apply to the server, right? Gotta make the best videos you possibly can. Because if you make the best videos you possibly can, and you make them different, and you make them innovative, then people are going to watch them. The same thing applies to servers. Exactly the same thing. Almost to the letter. Okay? You've got to be doing something different. And honestly, I wish I had a miracle fix like I do for the combat, but I really don't. I think what they have going right now, the heart fragment shop, is a good thing. I think that's a really good first step. But there's got to be more, I think. It can't just be the same thing over and over again, you know. But yeah, those are the two big issues that I've seen, at least. One smaller issue that I should probably notice while we're on the topic is some of the rules are kind of really vague, right? So one of the rules is no unfair mods, and I said this in suggestions. I was like, hey, this is a super vague term. Pretty much any mod can be defined as unfair. Like, so I said that, and the response I got from staff was, now, see, the problem with that is that's pretty much any mod. Like, So, like, Optifine Zoom. This is not in the vanilla game, and it's definitely an advantage. Like, I can barely tell what that guy's doing. Look at him. He's speed bridging, you know? I think unfair mods is a really vague term, right? It can apply to pretty much any mod. Like, Optifine, it could be classified as unfair, but I don't think if you asked a single person who plays Minecraft if Optifine is an unfair mod, they would tell you, oh, Optifine is the most unfair mod on the planet. We gotta ban that, right? Nobody's gonna say that. So I just think the rules should also be a little more specific. I do really think what the Lifesteal people have here is a really big and good opportunity, okay? Which is, like, really important. You know, like, a lot of people don't have this opportunity, and I still feel like they can do something great with this server. I think it could be amazing, okay? But they have got to make some changes. Luckily, this is what the open beta is for. It's the time to make changes. So, if by the small chance that any Lifesteal person is watching this, I think what you're doing is awesome. I really do, and I really think that you have the potential here to make something great. And I do really think that this can be an amazing server. The issues with it now are just kind of the issues with every survival server. So, use my suggestions, maybe. You don't even have to. You can find your own workarounds. I don't care. But I think you have an opportunity here. You've got to innovate a little. And you've got to make it more fun. It's like, if you don't do that, then the server's gonna die. And I really don't want it to die. I want there to be a fun new server that I can spend hours and hours and hours in. But as it is now, it's just the same server you can find anywhere on the Minecraft forums or on YouTube, or you can find it anywhere. But yeah, that's just what I think. Like, and obviously no hate to the Lifesteal people at all. I've been watching Lifesteal since Season 1. I have applied every time that there's been applications. Heck, I have applied when there wasn't applications. Like, I love Lifesteal. I love, like, this community, and I really do think that there's an opportunity here. And so I really hope it works out. I really do. I think I've laid out the biggest issues here. The big one really is you can't really get into the server. You're going to have people that are going to try and kill you when you're fresh into the server, and that's not going to make it fun. It's going to completely demotivate you. And so I think that's the big issue that needs to be fixed, right? Is the fact that there is no... Oh, my bad. There's no way to really get into the server. Yeah, that has been me angrily ranting about the new Lifesteal server for, I don't know how long it's gonna be. Who knows? I've been ranting about it for a while, actually, a lot longer than I thought I would. Who knows how long this video will be? But if you enjoyed it, subscribe maybe. Check out my main channel. I don't just if this is by the strange chance that this is your first time seeing a Mr. Fakefoot YouTube video, this is not my main channel. I make full-length movie-like videos about Minecraft. Basically, I'm a Lifesteal clone, but just don't tell them that. But anyways, and I'm dead. But anyways, yeah, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe. If you're new here, check out my main channel. And yeah, maybe all the cool things will be in the description. So bye.